Class. This week, we're talking 6 5A Division I. 6 5A Division I looks a little different than it did in the 2019 season due to realignment. These are the teams that you'll be seeing in 6 5A Division I in the 2020 season.
District 6 5A Division I has Newman Smith, R.L. Turner, Bryan Adams, Molina, Samuel, Sunset, W.T. White, Lancaster, and Woodrow Wilson.
A much different look for 6 5A Division I. Let's take a more in-depth look now at the teams that you'll be seeing in this district in the 2020 season in our film session, presented by your local North Texas Geico agents.
There's good news and bad news for the teams in the new District 6 5A Division I. Let's start with the bad news for the majority of the teams. 99% chance the district title will go to Lancaster. The other teams in the district do not have the athleticism to handle what the Tigers bring to the table. Glenn Rice Jr. started all last year as a sophomore and now is one of the most experienced quarterbacks in 6 5A. Experienced wideout DQ James and Magic Rector should make it easy for Lancaster to put up points. The Tigers defense will also be able to bring the wood, so look for an undefeated district season for Lancaster. The good news for the rest of the district is that there's still 3 more playoff spots up for grabs, which means DISD teams and Carrollton teams that haven't made the postseason for a while now have their chance. Look for W.T. White and Woodrow Wilson to make a run at the playoffs as well as Newman Smith. However, if there ever was a chance for teams like Samuel, Sunset, Bryan Adams, Molina, or R.L. Turner to earn a postseason berth, these next 2 years could be their time to shine.
Let's turn our focus now to the players, as North Texas Honda recognizes players on the rise, those players destined to help their team to victory.
Lancaster wide receiver Magic Rector is a wizard for the Tiger offense. In 2019, he had 6 receiving touchdowns, averaging 12.8 yards a reception, and almost 600 receiving yards. Magic is a magician, and in 2020 will be a big factor of the Lancaster offensive scheme. Another rising star for the Tigers is quarterback Glenn Rice Jr. In 2019, Rice had almost 2,600 passing yards and 29 passing touchdowns. He tacked on another 350 rushing yards for Lancaster. Look for him to have a big 2020 season. Running back Matthew Jackson is the backbone of the Wildcat offense. Woodrow Wilson will lean heavily on Jackson in 2020 as they finished 1 spot out of the playoffs in district last season. Jackson had almost 800 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns in 2019. Samuel running back DeMarcus Jones will be needed for the 2020 season. The Spartans have a chance to make the playoffs next year if they can put together some offense against their district opponents. Jones will be needed for that, as he was their leading rusher in 2019. Another big piece of the puzzle for Lancaster is running back DQ James. DQ is just what we like about football in Texas, as he is a huge threat on the gridiron, rushing over 800 yards for the Tigers and scoring 10 touchdowns. With the Tigers losing Trey Bradford, James will be the new go-to back for the 2020 season.
And those players are great on the gridiron. But do you know somebody from the high school sports scene doing great in your community? A player, a coach, or a team going that extra mile? Nominate them for North Texas Honda Helpful Heroes. To nominate, go to ihshelpfulheroes.com and stay tuned to our social media platforms all summer long, where we'll be highlighting some of your nominations. Now it's time to turn our focus to the coaches who lead these teams to victory. We have Lancaster head coach Chris Gilbert to talk more about his team and the district you'll be seeing in 2020.
I am here with the Lancaster head coach, Chris Gilbert. Coach Gilbert, how's it going?
What's up, Ashley? How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much. And Coach, you always have a bunch of highly talented, skilled position players on the roster. This year you'll be replacing a speedy Trey Bradford at running back. Maybe tell us about some of your skill guys that we should be watching.
Okay, well, we always have a nice, amount of skill talent on our team. We've been blessed with that, and in my tenure, and starting at that spot, well, probably the first person you got to talk about is DQ James, and DQ will be replacing Trey at the running back position as the starter. And you talk about just a crazy talent. He's one of those guys that we say is maybe a little of a shorter guy, but he's not a small guy. He's not a little guy. He's compact. He's jacked up, and he's a very explosive player. Very, very hard runner. And once he gets to the open field, he can take it to the house. Next, you got to go with the QB. It'll be his second-year starter, Glenn Rice Jr. Glenn is an exceptional talent. He has a very capable skill set. He can throw it around the yard. He can run. He's a dual threat, and we're looking forward to him. We return Magic Rector at the receiver. Magic is my first 4-year varsity letterman. He's been on the varsity since he was a freshman, and he's seasoned and he's skilled. He's currently committed to KU, and so he's really trying to, have a great senior year before he goes to college. We have a newcomer that has been picking up a lot of steam in the recruiting world is Faison Wilson. Faison is a big kid. He's about 6'3" and 200 pounds. I call him kind of the Dez Bryant 2.0. Very a ball. Yes, he's a ball winner. He's a physical receiver. He's hard to tackle. He loves playing the game. He's a guy that's been drawing quite a bit of attention lately with very little film. He had some success in the 7-on-7 circuit and drew some attention in that way. And we also have a wideout that's a move-in wideout that came from Houston Heights, Stephon Boogie Johnson, who will be a really good player for us, and we're looking for good things from him.
And 2020 brings a new set of challenges as realignment has happened. Talk a little bit about the district that your team will be in the 2020 season, some of the teams that you'll be facing.
Okay, in our new league, we will have W.T. White High School, who will be coming down from the 6A ranks, and Coach Tony Johnson. We expect those guys to be a great opponent. Woodrow Wilson Wildcats, Coach Benedetto, he's a young and upcoming coach that has off to a great start with his program. And I believe that Woodrow will definitely be one of the playoff teams. And then we have Carrollton Newman Smith, Coach Wrestling, and then his bunch over there. I think that they will be definitely a great opponent. We have the Molina Jaguars that'll be in our league, Brian Adams Cougars, Samuel Spartans, and I believe Sunset Bison and R.L. Turner will round out our entire district. So our district has a new look, a little bit different than we've been playing. We've been used to being in there with the Mansfield schools and Highland Park, and when I first came to Lancaster, Ennis and Waxahachie. So a lot of this is new for us, and so it'll be a new challenge for us.
From the last 2 years, like you said, when it comes to district play, the Tigers are going to be the favorites in your district. Will it be hard to keep your guys motivated, or do you have some great motivational speech tucked away for a rainy day for your team?
Well, we need speeches every now and then.
We all do.
Yeah, we all do. But I really think that, our greatest opponent, and this is going to sound cliche, I hate to be cliche, but our greatest opponent is ourselves, and trying to be better than we were the previous week and the previous game, and see if we can make the fewest mistakes, see if we can be perfect in the kicking game, and see if we can prepare ourselves in situational football along the way. We expect to be one of the 4 playoff teams. We expect to play good enough, and if we stay healthy, to be a major player in the state playoffs. That's what we expect. That's our goal. We all need some motivation at times, but I do think that the group does have some inspiration. And I think they have some goals that they want to achieve. And just listening to them talking our group message, they're excited about trying to be the best we can be and go undefeated. That's what we want to do every year.
Thank you, Coach Gilbert, for coming on the campfire with us and also being such a good friend of the show. We have a couple of messages from our sponsors and a quick trivia question for you.
District 6-5A Division I trivia question. Which school is the first high school in the country to have 2 Heisman Trophy winners? A. W.T. White, B. Lancaster, C. Woodrow Wilson, or D. Sunset? The answer when we return.
The North Texas Honda dealers recognize members of our high school sports community who take time out to be helpful heroes. Nominate a helpful hero today at ihsshelpfulheroes.com. The film session is brought to you by your local North Texas Geico agents. To find the office near you, go to geico.com/DFW. The District Breakdown is presented by GiveMeTheVin.com. These teams make it look easy, just like GiveMeTheVin.com makes it easy to sell your vehicle.
Welcome back to the campfire. District 6-5A Division I trivia question is, which school is the first high school in the country to have 2 Heisman Trophy winners? A. W.T. White, B. Lancaster, C. Woodrow Wilson, or D. Sunset? If you answered C. Woodrow Wilson, you're correct.
And one of those Woodrow Wilson alumni who has a Heisman Trophy is the great Davy O'Brien. Fun facts. Now it's time for our district breakdown, presented by GiveMeTheVin.com. We have Inside High School Sports Insider Ryan Harris on to break down District 6-5A Division I. Ryan, over to you.
Thanks, Ashley. Today we're going to be talking about a district that's a little bit different from a district I did a couple weeks ago. So I recently talked about a district where every team in that district for next year made the playoffs a year ago. This district that we're talking about today features Lancaster and then teams that didn't make the playoffs a year ago. So Lancaster is going to be the clear favorite to take the district championship in 5A Division I District 6. They've got a slew of Dallas ISD schools behind them and 3 playoff spots to fill. That means 3 teams that didn't make the playoffs a year ago will be going in 2020. Who are those teams? Well, let's take a look. W.T. White figures to be one of those teams. They're moving down from 6A. They played in the same district actually last year as Duncanville did, and they went 4-6. Now here's the thing, the Horns are returning talent across every position on offense, and that includes quarterback Jason Salinas and running back Elijah Edwards. So they're reloaded on offense. They have a little bit of talent coming back on defense, and this is a team that went 4-6 at the 6A level a year ago. I'm looking for W.T. White to probably fill that second playoff spot. Now let's look at Woodrow Wilson. They went 3-7 last year, and they played a bunch of teams that are in their district this year. Their 3 wins came against Adams, Samuel, and Sunset. And if they can beat those 3 teams in 2020 and maybe find one other district win somewhere else, they can definitely fill the 3rd or 4th playoff spot. They have quarterback Sam Finnegan back, and they'll look to make the playoffs in 2020. Now Adams, they also finished 3-7. Their returning quarterback Amari Jones, and with returning production and a much easier district schedule, they could be in the playoffs in 2020 as well. Now, the Carrollton schools really struggled last year. Smith's only win was against Turner, and Turner went 0-10. So between the two, they were 1-19 in 2019. Those 2 schools will benefit heavily from a much easier district schedule in 2020. Molina is moving down from 6A to 5A, much like W.T. White is. They played, I believe, in that same district, and they went 1-9 a year ago. They didn't win a district game, so they're going to benefit from playing 5A competition as opposed to 6A competition. Now, Sunset and Samuel both struggled from tough district schedules a year ago as well. Both have plenty of work to do, but they should benefit greatly from an easier schedule in 2020. But that brings me to Lancaster. They were a clear winner in realignment getting this district, and it's going to be tough for them to replace Trey Bradford, but they returned 2 running backs, talent across the offensive line, and receivers Majik Rector and Faison Smith. Lancaster, like I said, will win this district, but how far can they go in the playoffs? They went 11-3 a year ago. Can they do better this year? That's what we're waiting to find out. But my team to watch is the Lancaster Tigers, and I'm looking to see if they can go on a deeper playoff run after a more relaxed district schedule in 2020. And my player to watch is Lancaster receiver Majik Rector. He's a 3-star commit going to the University of Kansas, but before he does that, he will fill the primary playmaker role after the Tigers graduated running back Trey Bradford a year ago. That's all for me, Ashley. Back to you.
Ryan, thanks for the insight. I will see you next week. That's all we have for this edition of The Campfire. Come back every Monday for a new show. Next week, we'll be breaking down District 7 5A Division 1. Until then, follow our social media platforms. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube that'll be bringing you original content, all focused on 6-5A Division 1 this week. Until next time, I'm Ashley Bullington, and thank you for watching The Campfire.